Hello, you join us at North Shields Ferry Terminal as we embark to Amsterdam.
Hello and welcome to our boat to Amsterdam. This is our room. We've got the basic room. It was classed as an interior room, so I'm quite surprised that we actually have a window which looks outside. We have what looks like at first 2 single beds. However, it's not really 2 single beds because they pull down and we have bunk beds as well. So this will be a bit of a tight squeeze for 4, but will probably be doable if we had the children with us, which for this little series we don't. It's me and Rebecca alone. So on top of the 4 beds and the window, we have European style power outlets here. There's steps if needed for the bunk beds, and also, which might be very important for Rebecca later, sick bags. Because Rebecca gets seasick. So a 15-hour ferry to Amsterdam, she may be suffering. We also have an ensuite. So we have a sink, a toilet, and a basic shower. But one overnight, so this is more than we need, and probably a little bit more than we were expecting. If we were honest, we thought we were going to have to share a bathroom. So yes, our home until we get to Amsterdam. We won't be getting the ferry back, however. We'll be getting an aeroplane back, so it'll be interesting to do a little bit of a comparison as to what is the best way for us from the northeast of England to get to Amsterdam. Is it the ferry or is it the aeroplane? Stay tuned to find out. So we're now going for an explore around the ship.
The amenities on the ship are split across several levels and include an a la carte restaurant, a buffet, pub, bar, nightclub and duty-free shops.
So the duty-free shop is open in the morning from 8 o'clock until when we arrive, and then in the evening from after departure until 10. And this is a concept that Rebecca really struggled with when we first found the shop.
This is the North Sea a la carte restaurant. There's a set menu, and if you pre-book, it's cheaper.
Coffee prices aren't too bad.
So there's actually an outside area on each deck. At the minute, behind me you can see South Shields. We've just popped outside to see what was here. There's a little bit over there that sticks out that looks like it's blatantly made for people standing and doing recreations of the Titanic. But making Titanic jokes when I'm about to go on a ferry is probably not a very appropriate thing to do. There seems to be quite a few decks that do have outside areas. So if we look down, you can see there's outside decks going down, and then there's more going up as well. So we're going to now work our way to the top through the outside and then come back down through the inside of the ship to deck 6 where we're based. We've found the lifeboat, so in case of emergency, I know I'll push Rebecca out of the way, trample over the top of her and get to this point.
There are 2 cinemas on board with a variety of different movies to see. You can also include popcorn and movie snacks as part of the package. The Compass Bar is next to the nightclub on board. The club was serving drinks before departure and the Compass Bar opened once we were at sea. Drinks were really reasonably priced given the captive audience. There was a menu of typical pints, wines and cocktails, as well as seasonal cocktails available. My favourite was a frozen strawberry daiquiri. Later in the evening there was entertainment in the club. On our journey this was a live singer.
So we haven't quite set off yet, we're about to start. So we've gone and got a pint and a wine from the Compass Club, and then we've come into the bar next door so to get a window seat ready for when we start moving, because this is a bit of a first for Rebecca and I, so we are making the most of it. So we're over the river from Tyne Dock in South Shields, but I'm struggling to focus on the cranes to show you them because the windows are that dirty that the camera's struggling to focus through them, but hopefully when we start moving...
We're moving!
So this is us at sea now. We've just gone past the lighthouse at North Shields, and we're about, within the next few minutes I think, to find out whether Rebecca's seasickness tablets have kicked in. It looks at the moment like it's quite still, and hopefully it is going to stay like this. Good morning, it's just past 8 o'clock Central European time, and we've just woken up and started getting ourselves ready for the day. We're sailing past an offshore wind farm. I think you'll be able to make that out the window behind us, but it looks quite cool in person. They did an announcement at 8 o'clock through the cabins, 7 o'clock UK time, just to say that breakfast was starting to be served, and it acted like a little bit of an alarm that went off just before our own alarms went off, which was quite cool. We weren't expecting that. Sleeping in here last night, beds were comfy enough, but it was a little bit rattly. I struggled a little bit with the rattling at times and the vibrations, but we had smooth seas, so I think that's all Rebecca was hoping for. I think she'd rather have smooth seas and a bit of a rattle than waves doing this all the way across. I think now we are going to grab a coffee. We set off at 10 to 5 last night. We're due in at 9:45, so we've still got time to go and grab a coffee, maybe some pastry, and then we'll be taking the shuttle into town and we'll take it on to our hotel.
So on the ferry there's two main restaurants. There's the North Sea Bistro, which is a la carte, 2 courses, approximately €45 each, and there is the Explorer's Kitchen, which is a buffet that serves cuisines from all over the world. There was Mexican, Indian, American, Dutch, needless to say, and that was about €35 per person, and obviously you can eat as much as you want. Do have to include drinks, but actually we found the drinks are quite reasonable in price, particularly drink cider and wine. There's also a cinema, there is an arcade area, massage chairs, the coffee shop that Dan's mentioned. It's really, there's quite a lot to do, so off we go for breakfast.
And we have arrived.
We took the shuttle bus from the port to the central station in Amsterdam. This took about 40 minutes, which is probably slightly longer than we expected. If you don't book the shuttle at the same time as you book the ferry, you need to make sure you get the print out with the shuttle information on, as that is what's used as your ticket. If, like us, you didn't get that, then they will reprint the shuttle information for you in the terminal. Took us a while to figure this one out though. There are taxis if you prefer, however, if you aren't in a large group, these can be expensive per person in comparison to the bus.
So we have just arrived in Amsterdam city centre. We got the bus from the ferry and we are currently using our phone to walk to our hotel. So we're staying at the Leonardo Boutique Hotel. It, according to the sat nav, is 43 minutes walk away, 3 kilometres, and we think we can do it in less time than that.
Obviously by choosing to walk, it's given us our first opportunity to explore the city and get our bearings, because it's the first time either of us have been to Amsterdam. Some of the architecture is really pretty, especially with the fact that it like fronts onto the water as well. Got some cool looking old boats there, and I don't think I've ever seen this many bikes in one place in my life. Rubber duck store, the kids would love that. Don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but big seagull sat in the chimney. Rebecca's off walking ahead and she's following the sat nav, and she has the worst sense of direction out of anyone I've ever known. So I'm not sure we will actually end up at our hotel here. We were once in Birmingham so that I could have a job interview, and on our way back to Newcastle, which is in the northeast of England, she followed signs to the north, because I'd been on an all-day interview from early morning until late afternoon doing like lots of tests and things. Like I went to sleep in the car, and when I woke up, turned the radio on, it was no longer in English, because when she'd been following the signs that said the north, we ended up in North Wales, so the radio was in Welsh, and that pretty much sums up Rebecca's sense of direction. So I may have to take over navigating soon.
I was going to say, and at the minute he's letting me do it, which is probably a daft idea.
It's like some of the buildings are like really, really thin, but then like 5 or 6 stories tall.
I know Dan's already mentioned it, but seriously, the amount of bikes. It's not just that they're all parked up either. There's just hundreds of people riding them everywhere. We're not used to that. Another rubber ducky store. Just ahead of us is the City Archives. So this is our hotel from the outside. It's right in the museum quarter, and right behind us is the S3x Museum, which no doubt I've butchered, and we will learn how to say it properly.
So with that being us here at the hotel now, this video will be split into 2. So I will hand over in a second to feature Dan and Reb to do the comparison with flying to the boat as we fly back to Amsterdam. But in the meantime, we're going to go drop our stuff in the hotel now. We're going to try and get checked in, and our next video will be a hotel tour. So if you're interested in seeing that, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out.
This is us having just got on the public bus to Schiphol, Amsterdam's airport. The bus from the museum quarter to the airport is the 397 and takes approximately 30 to 40 minutes. We hit traffic on the motorway at one point, which did give us a little scare for the flight times, but we made it. If you've used an iAmsterdam pass for your transport whilst in the city, be aware that it may not be accepted on the airport buses. However, you can just tap a credit or debit card if needed. There is also a train from Central Station if preferred.
So 2 bottles of cherry coke and pizza in Amsterdam airport was €18.50. The Cokes are £4.50 each, but that's for bottles, so we were paying €4 for cans anyway in Amsterdam, so it's about the same price in the airport as what it was in the city centre, to be fair.
Schiphol Airport has actually got to be one of my favourite airports of all time. There's loads of different restaurants and shops, including those stereotypical touristy Dutch ones like tulips and cheese. And I've got to say, some of the cheese was actually better priced than some of the cheese shops within Amsterdam City Centre. There's numerous duty-free shops, and the one thing that absolutely blew my mind was that there's actually a small museum within the airport itself, which included some of the Dutch masters' paintings. Mind blown.
Would you do the mind of the exit, please, or is it closed?
Well, I have to admit that when we were on the bus going to the airport, I was kind of wishing I was getting the boat back.
Yeah, the bus was a bit stressful.
Yeah. We hit stationary traffic on the way to the airport when we hit the motorway, which had us panicking a little bit.
Yeah, but we got there. We flew with easyJet. Took an hour. I slept the entire way. So for me, it was a brilliant flight.
Yeah, I slept for half of it, not quite as long as you. The airport kind of made up a little bit for the bus journey. So if we were to do it again, would you choose the boat or would you choose the aeroplane?
That's a really hard question. I enjoyed getting the boat over and the fact that you slept through most of it, but then I slept through most of the flight as well, so that kind of balances out. I thought the drinks were quite a reasonable price on the boat, so it almost felt like having a night out as well. Flight times coming back was brilliant. If we'd got the plane there, we wouldn't have gotten there until like the late on in the afternoon, whilst obviously the boat got us there up in the morning.
Yeah.
The prices for the boat were really, really reasonable.
For all, the boat has a much longer travel time because you're asleep for most of it, because it is an overnight one. You don't notice the travel time, whereas the flights for me felt longer with being in the airport and going through the airport security, purely because you're not really like asleep for it like you are on the boat.
Yeah, but saying that, I think the way we've done it actually would be my optimum, because you know, you have the enjoyability of the boat on the way there, you get there early, but then when you're coming home and all you want to do is just get back, like you're back.
Yeah.
So
I think
there
for
you
me,
go.
like from our experience there, I think I would probably choose both ways. However, we were very spoilt on the boat because it was very still the entire way. I have a feeling our perceptions of the boat would be very different if we'd had stormy, wavy seas the entire way as well, which when we booked the boat for October, we were told would be very likely. So I think we've been very lucky with the weather on the boat and whilst we've been in Amsterdam, because like I've worn my hoodie most days rather than coats, because we would like forecast rain for 3 of the 4 days.
It was glorious sun.
Sunshine.
Yeah, it's been absolutely lovely, and then we get back to Newcastle and it's chucking it down.
So, obviously we're home now, and on this video we're talking about our experience of the travel, but none of the other videos have gone yet. So, as a sneak peek for what's to come, what is your favourite thing that we've done that will be in one of the following 2 or 3 videos?
The tail of the whale.
Tail of the whale.
So stay tuned to find out exactly what that is and where it is.
Yeah. And join us next time as we show you around our hotel, the Leonardo Boutique Museum Hotel, which is just a stone's throw from the Reich Museum. And I still don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.